Hello everyone, well what a video we have for you here. It's time to bring you one of the biggest videos of the channel for the year. It's the Winter 2022-2023 NAO Forecast, brought to you from GavsWeatherVids. So we're going to go through some data in a moment, having a look at sea surface temperature anomalies for the month of May 2022, and then we will create a forecast based upon those sea surface temperature anomalies for the winter of 2022-2023. So a big video here. It doesn't get bigger. Thank you so much everybody for tuning in. We are premiering this on Sunday the 3rd of July. So if you are watching the premiere, then hello to all of you in the premiere. There will be a couple of breaks as we go along, and I'm sure we'll produce a laugh in the premiere. If you watch this after the premiere, then you know, thank you so much for tuning in to the video. Thank you so much everyone. Right, so before we get on with that, I just want to say that please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much everybody doing this for GavsWeatherVids. We are very close to 14k subscribers at the time I'm recording videos, so please give us a sub, tell friends and family to subscribe as well. Thank you so much. Doing that, drop a comment on the video, let us know what you think about this Winter 2022-2023 NAO forecast, and I'd love to have a look at your comments, even if I can't respond to each and every one of them individually. I do see all of the comments posted, so thank you so much everybody. Like the video, share the video across the web. You know, if you want to share it on weather forums or whatnot, anywhere where you think people might be interested, you can give a donation via Super Thanks as well. So if you would like to give a donation, you have to, but if you'd like to give a donation, flag up your comment, provide a little bit of money to the channel. You can find the Super Thanks button underneath the video on the YouTube watch page. Well, you will get a reply and a mention in subsequent videos. Thank you so much everybody. Thank you so much to Rich of the fantastic gift here, the Winter 2022-2023 forecast gift. Thank you so much Rich, I love it, I love the gift. Thank you so much my friend. Right, I reckon we better do it. So let's have a look then, shall we? So the first thing I'll do is set the scene. So of course I'm going to explain about the North Atlantic Oscillation. What is it and why is it important? So NAO is just an index really that's reflecting the atmospheric state, doesn't drive anything in its own terms, just tells what we're actually doing. When the NAO is in positive phase, you'll have low pressure around Iceland and Greenland, and high pressure around southern Europe from the Azores into Spain and the Mediterranean. But it's the opposite when the NAO is in negative phase. More about that in a second. So this is a classic example of a positive NAO from the polar vortex of doom that we had in December 2015, the warmest December on record. PV just kept churning away within the northern latitudes. Loads of low pressure in Greenland and Iceland, high pressure from the Azores into Spain and many parts of Europe. Look at that long effect southwesterly pumping up the air from the Azores, with the air originating down here. It's bound to be warm. So of course, you know, that's the warmest December on record, as December to remember from the warm side. Another example of a positive NAO is this one from the polar vortex of doom winter itself. This is from February 2020, and again you see how the high pressure is extending in from the Azores into west and southwest Europe. All of these low pressures up here around Greenland and Iceland. Up comes that southwesterly wind. So wow, yes, we have those warm winds coming up from the Azores, and so that again, an example of a positive NAO. Now when you have a negative NAO, it's the flip on that. You will have high pressure around Iceland and Greenland, and low pressure, or lower pressure anyway, around the Azores. You will tend to push out the Azores high and send it towards Bermuda, send it south. So this, from the 5th of January 1985, is a classic example. You see the flip from 2020, this is 85, you see the flip around that we have there. So instead of all of the low pressure around Greenland and Iceland, we've actually got a big area of high pressure blocking up there. Instead of high pressure around the Azores, we've got low pressure pushing through here. And you just about make out the Azores high, which is pushed right away virtually off the screen. That's heading off towards Bermuda. And of course, what this does, it allows much colder air to push in from the north and from the east. So negative NAO, negative North Atlantic Oscillation, can be conducive to a colder type winter. And we had to include it, didn't we? This is from the December to remember itself, which is the 18th of December 2010, I should say, when again we get all about high pressure in the northern latitudes, high pressure around Greenland, high pressure around Svalbard, and low pressure down here. I'm so sorry everyone, low pressure down here. And look at this, this is the polar vortex of doom collapsing. The blocking is actually pushing out the polar vortex. The polar vortex is collapsing here in the December to remember. We had a collapse of the PV that got pushed out from the Arctic, and polar vortex collapsed into Western Europe, and it became extraordinarily cold and very snowy as well as the PV was pushed out of the Arctic and collapsed down into Western Europe. So classic example again of a negative North Atlantic oscillation there. So that's taught you through what the positive and negative phases of the NAO look like. How does sea surface temperature anomalies play into this? Well, it's a Met Office theory. It's a Met Office theory, this. That the sea surface temperature anomalies you get in the month of May can reoccur in the winter, and if you have a specific pattern, what we call a tripole, which is warm over cold over warm, and I'll explain that in a second. If you have that specific pattern through the month of May, it can reoccur in the winter, and if it reoccurs in winter, that could be conducive to a negative NAO type winter. So now I'm going to talk you through some past sea surface temperature anomaly charts from the month of May. This is May 2015. So this preceding the very mild winter of 2015-16, of course. Notice in this May, in May 2015, we had cold and average sea surface temperature anomalies here to the south of Greenland into the North Atlantic. Pretty cool through Mediterranean as well. Warmer here around the eastern seaboard of America. That kind of pattern would very much lead to the forecast of a positive NAO for the following winter. I believe, I think if I remember right, of course my aging brain, it's a job to remember now, but I think we did forecast positive NAO based on that sea surface temperature anomaly setup we had during the month of May 2015 for winter of 2015-16. Of course, that is exactly what we got. Another example of a positive NAO type sea surface temperature anomaly profile in the month of May, with this one from 2018. So again, you see that we've got those cooler than average sea surface temperature anomalies there on 15th May 2018, south of Greenland and down into the eastern side of the North Atlantic. Conversely, it's warm around here, so we have it warmer through there, and then cooler through the tropical Atlantic, up the eastern side and round towards Greenland. That's like a horseshoe shape of cold PDO type signature there. And it would be very much the kind of thing that would lead you to predict a mild winter. Subsequently, I believe we forecast a positive NAO based on that sea surface temperature anomaly from May 2018. Now, what about a negative NAO though? So this is what we're looking for to happen in the month of May, to be able to forecast a negative North Atlantic oscillation for the following winter. And this is what we call a tripole. So we have, you notice we have three very distinct bands. We have warm and average sea surface temperature anomalies there from Newfoundland to Greenland. We have cold and average sea surface temperature anomalies there from the eastern seaboard of America into Spain and the Bay of Biscay, and then it's much warmer again as you come down into the tropical and subtropical Atlantic Ocean. It's a three-way band, warm over cool over warm. That's the classic tripole signature from the 15th of May 2010, and of course that preceded the December to remember in 2010 as well. And then this is another really good example of a tripole. This is from a very long time ago. This is from the 15th of May 1995, but again you see very good example of a tripole. Warm to south of Greenland, warm going southwards toward the Azores and the Canary Islands, and then warm through the tropical and subtropical Atlantic as well. It's not all warm though, because come over towards the eastern seaboard of America, and there we see it's colder than average from the eastern seaboard out into the Atlantic and up towards Newfoundland as well. So it's slightly different to the 2010 example, but still nevertheless it's like warm over cool over warm once again. And once more, that being a classic example of a tripole in the month of May 1995, and that of course preceded the cold winter of 1995-1996, which was one of the few cold winters that we had in the 1990s. So that's described everything. We're going to have a little break there. This will produce a good laugh in the premiere, I bet. Going to have a little break there. You go up and stretch your legs and, you know, contemplate what we've just seen and whatnot. If you want to do that, you don't have to, but you can do if you want to. And when we come back, we're going to go through the city survey temperature anomalies for May 2022, see how they're looking, and then we'll give you our NAO forecast for winter 2022-2023 based on the city survey temperature anomalies. So I see you in around 2 seconds time. See you very soon, everyone. Okay, we're back. Did we ever really go anywhere? I don't know. What do you think in the premiere, everybody? Hello to all of you in our premiere. What a break that was, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed it. What did you do? I wonder. Anyway, we're back, and now we are ready to give you the GavsWeatherVids Winter 2022-2023 NAO Forecast. Right, so what we're going to do first of all, though, before we do that, is go through the sea survey temperature anomalies through the month of May. If you've enjoyed or you're enjoying this NAO forecast for winter 2022-2023, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, here we go then. Forecast time. Well, data time, then forecast. Right, so, this is from the 1st of May 2022. What's very apparent is that the North Atlantic is still in a pretty warm state, as it has been for several years. So, we see that it was warmer than average at the start of May this year. South of Greenland, warmer than average coming down here, and down into tropical, subtropical Atlantic, cooler through there. It looks almost 1995-esque, that to me, but just not quite. The problem really is that the cold and average sea surface temperatures here aren't cold enough. You know, they're only around average, ever slightly below. But as we start May 2022, it doesn't look too bad actually for like a tripole type signature. How do things develop through the month? Well, this is the 5th of May 2022, all looking quite similar. Really warm to south of Greenland, warm through there, warm down here, a little bit cooler through there, but just probably not quite cold enough to give you idea of a negative NAO prediction for the coming winter. But it really is very, very close actually. This is 10th of May 2022. Again, we see warm through here, down here, down here, a little bit cooler through here, but begin to lose what was already quite a weakish sort of signal. That's the 15th of May 2022, so another 5 days out. Again, warm, cooler there and there. Begin to warm up a little bit though towards the east coast of America. That's not something that you really want to see if you want a tripole. That's the 20th of May 2022. What do you think about that? So it's a little bit cooler through there. Just generally quite warm at this point across most parts of the Atlantic. Again, it's almost a tripole-esque type signature, but it's just not quite there. It's just not quite right. It's not far off at all though. This is the 25th of May 2022, warming towards the east coast of America, so that's a bit of a problem if you want a tripole. Warm through here, just generally quite warm across most parts of the Atlantic, a little bit cooler there. Again, not cold enough though to be properly conducive to a negative. And yeah, this is how we end the month. It's the 30th of May. So again, warm through the tropic. That's really something that you want to see if you want a colder wintry. You want a warm tropical Atlantic Ocean. Pretty warm through here as well. So you're still not that far away from a 1995 example. A bit cooler through there. But again, the eastern seaboard of America, a little bit of a problem. It's warmer through there. So it's very close. It's very, very close to a tripole. But just not quite in place. I think earlier in the month it's actually closer to a tripole than that kind of example, to be honest. But it's not far away compared to past years. So this is how the setup was on 15th of May 2021. Last year, very warm Atlantic Ocean that we had there. Right, I'm going to go that way. Okay, so 15th of May 2020. Now that was a little bit more conducive for a tripole type signature. It is quite a weak tripole signature, but it's almost there. Actually, I think we did forecast a negative NAO actually for winter 2021. And you know, it was a cooler winter anyway. That's 2019, not quite right for a tripole signature. That's 2018, of course. We've got a reverse tripole in 2018. We've already explained that with cooler through there, warmer through there. That's positive anyway. This is 2017. We're probably not that far away from 2017 this year, actually. I might go forward charts to 2017 2014. But I think that's one of the closer years, actually, where the warmer weather goes up to there, or well, sea surface temperature goes up to there. It's a bit cooler around there. I think 2017 is one of the closer years, actually. That's 2016, just generally a very warm Atlantic across the board in 2016. 2015, again, we know that's very conducive to a positive NAO type winter forecast. That's 2014, very much towards a positive NAO winter forecast as well. That's 2013, where we have got a little bit of a tripod. It's kind of left over from the winter, though. So that's a bit of a complicated one, because that kind of is left over from the spring, if you like, when a late tripod set up. That's 2012. That's one of the closer ones to this year as well, where it's warmer through here. It is relatively warm through the tropics and up here. A little bit cooler around there. So, again, you know, that's probably one of the closer ones. 2017, 2012, maybe 2020. I think they're a little bit closer to this year. 2011, when we do have a warm tropical Atlantic in May 2011, but otherwise it's cooler further north, actually. And then, of course, got 2010 just here, where once more we have that sort of reverse tripod type thing going on like that, or we have a tripod going on in 2010. Right, so what do we make of that then? Let's have a look at our swingometer, shall we? So this is going to tell you what the forecast is. So what will the result be? 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 50-50. We're going for 50-50. Everyone, I'm going to put the webcam back up and explain. So we are very close there to a tripod in May 2022, but it's just not quite right. It's not all that far away from the 1995 example, but we would need to be at the 1995 example and be able to forecast a negative NAO for this coming winter, to be able to forecast a tripod. We would need to see it colder towards the eastern seaboard of America. Let's just go back to it. So there it is. You know, we're close to it. We've got the warmer conditions there, warmer there, but just here it needs to be colder. You know, it needs to be colder than it is. So we're going, because we're so close though to a tripod, we're not that far away from it whatsoever. We wasn't far away from it whatsoever. We're going to say this is on a knife edge. This is very much on a knife edge. It's 50-50. It could easily tip into a negative NAO for the winter 2022-2023 if we get a tripod setting up. And because we are so close to getting a tripod setting up, you know, I would not rule it out that a tripod is able to set up by the time this winter arrives and we deliver a negative NAO for this winter. But conversely, because the sea surface temperatures were just not quite right, and it's so frustrating, I would love to be able to go for a negative NAO tripod, but because the sea surface temperatures were just not quite there, well, it just wasn't quite cold enough from Newfoundland down the eastern seaboard of the States, you know, I can't go for it. So I've got to say, like, it's on a knife edge, it's 50-50, it could go either way. Of course, within any forecast prediction, always forecast, there's a margin of error. So, the margin of error does state that we could swing into a positive NAO for this winter. Conversely, we could slip backwards into quite a significant negative NAO for this winter. So, it's going to be very, very exciting, I think, to see how this plays out. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. We are so close there to a tripod scene, especially earlier on in May 2022. So, wow, I would brace yourself, you know, get ready, get set, and watch this space to see what's going to happen when we start winter updates, which will begin in early September. I would just add a little caveat, which is that we are increasingly moving towards a tripod signature, seemingly, as we go through into this summer. So this is the latest anomaly map as of the 22nd of June. You can see that it is still significantly warmer through the subtropical Atlantic, still pretty warm to the south of Greenland as well, and turning ever cooler here through this central band from like the east coast of America over towards Spain and whatnot. So that is increasingly looking tripod-esque. If that carries on developing through the summer and into the autumn, things will get very, very interesting. If that had occurred during May, actually, I would be going for a negative NAO. But because that's happened in June, and the methodology says that it's May, sea surface temperature is very important, you know, I've got to say 50-50. But it really is on a knife edge, this. It is so close. It's very, very exciting. And as we say on our swingometer, thank you so much to my good friend Richard, short for the GIF and the swingometer, as we say there on the swingo, what will the result be? What will the result be? What will the result be? It's 50-50, folks. It's on a knife edge. It could go either way, and within the margin of error, we could find ourselves going into quite a significantly positive NAO, or we could even find ourselves going into quite a significantly negative NAO. So that's it. That's all as much as we can do for you. And what a way to begin and countdown to winter 2022-2023. Now, what's going to happen now is that there will be no more for the winter until we get into September. And then at the beginning of September, winter updates will begin. We'll start looking at things like sea surface temperature, anomalies, solar activity, QBO, AO, NAO, you name it, we'll be looking at it through our winter updates. And they'll be starting on the first Sunday of September. And we're poised, we are very, very poised here within this NAO forecast. So it's going to be an exciting journey, I think, when we get into the autumn. And I can't wait to get started on it for all of you. And we'll begin that, of course, at the beginning of September. Thank you so much to Rich for the gift. Thank you so much to all of you, and also thank you so much to all of you for watching, sharing, subscribing, liking, commenting, and just your support being absolutely marvellous and absolutely lovely to me and to GavsWeatherVids all of the time. You enjoy the rest of your summer, and we're going to see you back here in a couple of months where we will begin the countdown properly to the winter, because remember, this is just the first step. Every saga has a beginning, every journey has a beginning, every saga has a first step. This is just the first step on our journey, and we'll see you back at the beginning of September, and that's when we get to business properly. Okay, for this winter 2022-2023 NAO forecast, and what a poised, finely balanced forecast it was, that's all for now, and thank you so much for watching.